Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Vibe channel. My name is Angel Confetti, and I'm your hostess for this evening. And if you've been with us before, I thank you very much for joining us again. We love to have you come back every week. And I'd also like to invite you to check out all of the other amazing shows that are on prior to this. I'm blessed to have this time slot, but there are so many wonderful readers before me and the days before me as well. So please take the time to check them out. If you did not catch them this evening, they'll be back on again next week. But until then, this evening, I wanted to share a couple of really cool things with you that I experienced over the last week. Unfortunately, I had some sickness creep in, and I wasn't feeling very well for a couple of days. I had actually had a trip planned last weekend that I call my solo spiritual sabbatical. And basically what that is I have decided, probably within the last couple of years, Spirit had been telling me that I needed to take a solo trip. Didn't matter where, but somewhere all by myself, because despite being in my mid-40s, I've never just gone anywhere by myself. I've always been very family-oriented. I've always been in some kind of a romantic relationship from one to the other, very little time that I wasn't in an actual relationship, and I always traveled with a partner or a friend, and I love to travel. It's one of my passions. But I realized on a couple of trips that I really love traveling with my loved ones, but then you're always in a state of compromise because you want your partner that you're traveling with to be happy. So you tend to do what they want to do. You tend to be flexible with the schedule. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just sometimes miss out on the things that you'd like to do. But more importantly, you don't really get any alone time in solitude of your hotel room or out at an event where you get to experience things without the distraction. And not to say that our loved ones are distractions, but anything that takes our attention away from something else is a distraction. And I realized that I never really went anywhere without being able to just focus on what I wanted to focus on. And I knew that since I had begun to spiritually awaken and experience my abilities, that I really would like to experience some form of travel with a spiritual intention of going, with the full intention of spiritually learning and growing, and not having anything that could distract me from that. Being able to go and do things on my own, on a whim or planned, and be able to tune into my spirit guides, even pray about it, and ask my guides what they think I needed to learn and experience wherever I went. Well, I had planned this for a while, and I was super excited, and I didn't want to go too far away just because of, for one, expense. I've been blessed to go on several trips this year already that we used saved money, income tax money for, and like most middle-class Americans out there, we live paycheck to paycheck. I'm sure most of us do that are listening, so you can understand that. So I needed to find some place to go that was inexpensive and fairly close to home. For one, because my daughter is in her last trimester of her pregnancy, so I'm really excited, but I want to be close in case anything could possibly happen that I needed to be here for. My youngest has special needs, and I'm still dealing with some health issues myself. So my husband was wonderful and very supportive, said, go enjoy yourself, but I still felt the need to stay fairly close, or close by. So I found a wonderful park, a couple of parks actually, only about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from my home. But unfortunately, I took ill right before I was supposed to go on the trip. And I was devastated because I thought it might interfere with my plans. In fact, the day of my trip, I awoke with the same headache I had the night before. I really wound up sleeping in till almost time for me to leave, and didn't know till the very last minute if I was going to be able to go. But I just basically asked my guides to come in, and I asked them to help ground my body's energy, help calm and center me, remove any negative energy around me that could be adding to my health issues. I asked them to help cut any ties and cords from any negative energies or people that I had been in contact with that could have left some residual energy behind that could be affecting me. And I laid there and I asked them that if I was meant to go on this trip to help push me through it. And surprisingly, despite having asked for that to be lifted the night before for me to get through some other responsibilities, and it hadn't worked, this just started to clear and I started to feel better and better. So this whole experience was really a leap of faith for me from the beginning, and trusting spirit to get me through it was a big part of this. And that just helped me reassured my faith that they would take care of me and not allow anything bad to happen, because that's what I wanted to talk about. As much as I wanted to experience this sabbatical, I also had to face a lot of my weaknesses and flaws, which meant, why hadn't I gone anywhere all these years by myself? I had to ask myself that. And it wasn't really easy to hear the answers because it stemmed in fear. It stemmed in insecurities. It stemmed in lack of confidence and ability in myself. I feared for my safety and my security because I was raised in a very loving home, but a very overprotective home, a home that had a place of love within their intention, but they basically smothered me and built misguided beliefs of fear in me that every time I stepped out the door, something bad could happen to me. I then grew up watching the media and seeing all the horrible things that could happen anywhere you go. And I realized that I had a lot of beliefs that were limiting me and holding me back. Then I also had to look at the factor that I had never gone anywhere alone because I don't like to be alone. I'm afraid to be alone. Well, then I had to ask myself, why is that? Why am I not able to be alone? And I started to realize I'm the kind of person that can't even eat out at a restaurant by myself without feeling really self-conscious, thinking everybody's looking at me and wondering what's wrong with her. Why is she all alone? And part of that is fear and insecurity, and part of that is ego. And I had to face that my pride made things about me when people weren't looking at me. If they were, they weren't thinking about me or wondering about me. That was just my ego making it about me. So I really had to look at some underlying flaws and beliefs to push through and go on this trip. But I'm so glad that I did, because this amazing trip turned into be more than I could have ever hoped for. Was it the most expensive, adventurous trip I had been ever on? No, it wasn't. But was the most spiritual, learning, educational trip for me and about me? Yes, it was. Because I had a great time and I experienced some beautiful things. I went to these parks that had a lot of spiritual energies around them. They're famous for having a lot of artifacts found there from Native Americans and indigenous people. There's also nearby burial grounds. I actually went to Serpent Mound Park in Ohio, near Peebles, Ohio. There's this amazing effigy that's shaped like a serpent that is incredible, and it sits right at the mouth of a major meteorite crater. So you have the residual energies of that crater falling there millions and millions of years ago, and then you have the residual energies of this effigy, which is basically a structure built underground, usually in the form of a shape of an animal or a god or goddess, usually used for ceremonial purposes, kind of a community center, if you would, where they would come and celebrate and perform ceremonies. And then on each side, there were burial mounds. And I experienced that and its amazing energy. I stepped into nature and I just stopped and I took in all of my senses and I listened to everything, the birds, the cicadas, the crickets. I saw the beauty of butterflies flying around me. I saw some really beautiful birds. I managed to come through just at the right time to witness 3 does just grazing in a field. I pulled over right next to them and watched them for quite a while, and they just watched me while they ate, and we enjoyed a moment. And in the downtime when I was at my hotel room, I meditated and I just went inward. And while I was out, or while I meditated, I learned a lot. But while I was out, I learned even more because I again had to face those fears every few steps of this journey, where I would be out experiencing something great and I'd see some people would start to come up behind me and I'd start to wonder, are they safe? Do they have ill intentions? Could they be criminals? Nothing about them gave off the air of a criminal. It's just me, not them. That fear crept in. And then as I'm sitting in these beautiful places, which the next day I went to East Fork Lake Resort and spent part of the day at the beautiful beach there. And again, my anxiety and beliefs started to creep in and I started to feel insecure again. And I even started to question on 2 different occasions if I should get up and leave. And it would have been really easy to just give into that and go to the safety of my hotel or just pack it in and go home. But I didn't. I looked to my faith and I trusted my guides to take care of me. And in those moments, I learned a lot about myself. But more importantly, I pushed through and I succeeded. And now I have no regrets. And I am not angry at myself for giving up and throwing in the towel. And now I know that I can do something like this. And in fact, I really would love to do it again. It was a wonderful experience. And I just wanted to share this with you because what is it that you are afraid to do? What is it that you should have done all these years, but you never have? Are you content with your life the way it is? Or is there something that's missing that you feel like you should be doing, but something's holding you back? And if there is something, I would like to suggest that you take the time to sit down and write out some important questions like, why haven't I ever done this before? What's holding me back? And the first things that pop into your mind are usually the truth. So fear, insecurity, doubt, for lack of a better word, ignorance, and that's okay. We all are ignorant about certain things, and that's the beauty of discovering that so that we can overcome it and learn about it. But I just really want to have you ask those questions and then ask yourself, why? Why did those things come to mind? Why am I like that? Was it taught as a child? Did I experience some kind of a trauma or bullying, or was I denied something or somebody's love? Or did you experience some kind of a crime? And then ask yourself, is this a reasonable feeling, emotion? Is it logical? What are the chances of that thing really happening and hurting me in some way? And what better are the chances of me experiencing this and pushing through and nothing bad happening, but actually something really good coming out of it? And I don't think that you will let yourself down, because you know why? Spirit's going to be right there with you, guiding you, especially if you ask them for the assistance. So if you have something like this in your life, it's so easy to sit in our comfort zone, in our little box. Where's that little box for you? Is it at work, in the sanctity of your office or your space that you can just lose yourself in work and not have to think about anything? Is it your car? Some people just love getting in their car and driving. Is it your bedroom? That's my space. And that's okay to have that space. Everybody should have a place that's their haven. But sometimes we need to really challenge ourselves to step outside of it, because if we don't, we're never going to grow. We're never going to learn about ourselves. And you know what? Denying yourself that opportunity is a real shame, because the things that you can get out of it, taking that little leap of faith, and it doesn't even have to be a giant leap. You can start with little things. But taking those steps and trusting Spirit to guide you, trusting God, Creator, Source, whatever you call a higher power for you, trusting that these limited beliefs are holding you back and that they can help get you through it, I can almost promise you, you will not be let down as long as you ask for help and trust that. They will not steer you wrong. Now, you just try and take control and do things on your own without the help. I can't guarantee that won't go awry, because we, really aren't really ever fully in control of anything. I hate to tell you, but I just would love to see you challenge yourself and try something new. And then if you'd like, connect with me. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Angel the Channel. You can find me on Instagram at Instagram/Angel the Channel Confetti, Twitter at Angel the Channel, or on YouTube. You can find me Angel the Channel on YouTube. Find me there and comment and let me know. Write on my timeline or comment in one of the posts and let me know what your experience is. I'd love to hear about it, because we can really encourage one another by sharing these experiences. And I would love for you to share something like that for everybody else to experience with you. And hopefully you could actually encourage somebody else to do the very same. Okay, so thank you for listening to that. I hope you get to experience something as wonderful. But I'd really love to go to a caller tonight. Really going to have time for one caller, but I see that Charlie from Canton, not too far from me, is on the line. So I'd love to talk with Charlie. Charlie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Charlie. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. And you?
I'm great, thank you. I'd love to hear why you called in. Do you have a question for me this evening?
Not really. I just wanted to see if you had anything on me. I don't know.
Okay, so you'd just like to know anything that Spirit has for you and see who comes through?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's see. Well, right away, I'm really glad that you called, Charlie, because I feel like the energy around you, for one, you're a very, and you may or may not agree with this, but I feel like you're a very interesting person. But I also feel a little bit of energy that feels like similar to what I was just speaking about, some discontentment. I almost feel like there's some things in your life that you have felt kind of stuck with and not felt like you've moved as fast as you would like, or not even, or possibly not acted on or tried to seek out opportunities. And I'm feeling from your spirit guides that that's why they actually encouraged you to call in tonight, because they knew I was going to be talking about something very similar to this. And your spirit guides, which you actually have an angel that's coming through named, it's something with a Donella. Yeah, Donella is one of your angels that is with you at all times. And she's saying, you have so much amazing potential. And in some things you really are passionate and you're a go-getter about, but there's other areas that she would like to see you really step out and take a chance, take some risks on some things that you might otherwise hold back on and not be, or be a little slow to take a chance on, because she said you really actually have an amazing team of guides around you, including loved ones. And she's saying that you really are, if you just look to them and look to guidance for them to help guide you, you can make some amazing choices that will move you forward in your life in the areas that you have either felt stuck or just discontent, not content with. I even feel like there's areas even with your career that you've allowed to hold you back, where you might not have, you've been maybe afraid to take that chance or go pursue something that you actually wanted to do because you were trying to be more responsible or more logical and do things that you felt were more of a guarantee, more that may actually be, in your mind, more likely to come through with the income and more stable, but not necessarily what you really want to be doing. Not necessarily the things that you would rather be getting paid to do and enjoy doing and going for every day. And they're just wanting to really encourage you to, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And they're not criticizing. They just want you to pursue any passions or dreams that you may have just kind of sat tight and sat in your comfort zone because of things that you've learned throughout life might have kind of held you back because you are wanting to be safe and wanting to ensure your success instead of facing the possibility of it not working out. And your guides are just wanting me to tell you that you have so much potential and you're intelligent and you do have things that can and will work out for you if you're willing to take the chance. So they're just letting you know that there are opportunities out there for you. And if there's something specific that you're passionate about that you'd like to pursue, that you've sat on and not tried, they're saying when you're ready, but you're probably going to never feel completely ready, don't be afraid to pursue those opportunities or look for them and to ask the universe for assistance with it, and they will help bring those opportunities to fruition. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Okay, because I feel like you are a great worker and you can be very successful at a lot of things, but they just want you to be happy with life. I feel like you're not someone that, expects a lot. You're not real extravagant in the kind of things that you need, but they're saying that you can find a lot more happiness in these areas if you pursue your actual dreams. And I feel like you've almost forgotten what those are and don't even really know anymore. It's gotten cloudy as to what your dreams were. Those things that you longed for and were passionate about when you were younger have kind of gotten away from you because of the responsibilities of adult life and the way life has played out and happened. And they just want you to kind of find you again and find what you're passionate about, because they said life can be more enjoyable at the same time as being responsible. At the same time as if you have to earn a living, you can find something that you really enjoy and enjoy more and don't feel like you just have to settle for. So they just want you to know that you can have that joy despite the words that are coming through are beat down, like life has kind of gotten to you and held you back, and because of that you're not as quick to try to take those leaps of faith anymore like you would have if you were younger, when you were younger. So they just really want to see you live and love life again, and enjoy it to the fullest, because anything is possible as long as you ask and are willing to work for it. And they said you are, as long as you're passionate about it. If it's something that you are really passionate about and enjoy and want to do, there's nothing to stop you except for yourself. And so they're saying don't let yourself be the thing that gets in the way, because they will help clear the other obstacles if you're willing to take the steps to do it. So just keep that in mind, and let us see anything in other areas here. I
appreciate what you said. It was very helpful.
Okay. Good. I'm glad. And there's an uncle energy around you too. One of your uncles, he may be a great uncle or somebody that is like an uncle to you. But I feel like this is a relation of your dad's on your father's side, or a friend of your dad's that was like an uncle to you that is past, is in spirit. And he's backing up everything that your angels were saying. He's like, man, Charlie's a really great guy and he deserves more out of life. And I hate to see sometimes that he just stays in the comfort box. And if he's willing to step out of that, we can see him have a lot more happiness, and that he deserves, is what he's telling me. And I don't want to get personal, but I also just feel a little bit of doubt there. Like sometimes you might question whether you're worthy or deserve the true happiness. And they're telling me you do. Don't ever doubt that. Don't ever question it. You can have everything that you wanted. Life has just made you think that you don't deserve it, or made you feel unworthy of it at times because of what you've been through. Choices, some mistakes you may have made, but who of us haven't made mistakes, right? And they want you to know that you're very worthy. So don't ever question that. They're telling me you should and always deserve to believe in yourself, and you have the ability to make things happen because you are worthy and you are special. And they're telling me don't ever question whether you're special or not either. And don't let anybody tell you you're not, and don't let anybody steal that power from you. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I never met my father, so I wouldn't know any of his relatives either.
Well, I definitely feel it's a uncle type energy on your father's side. I'm not picking up an actual name. It feels like a J, but this guy is basically saying that he is with you whether you knew him or not. That he knew you before you were born in spirit life, and he chose to, once he passed, to just kind of keep an eye on you for the family. So just know that you do have that love and support on the other side as well. But you have an amazing spirit team that's there guiding you. So don't ever hesitate to look to them for help. I hate to do it, Charlie, but it's already time to wrap up. But thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you listening, and I hope that was of some assistance for you.
I thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. And good luck with everything. You can do whatever you set your mind to. Have a good evening.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, goodbye. All right, so thank you again. This time just flies by, and I'm so grateful that you spend it with me. I will be here again every Thursday, so come and join me and pick me out on one of my social medias that I shared with you earlier. I'm pointing because I'm pointing to my list. But I love spending this time with you. I hope you got something valuable out of the lesson, like I have. And don't forget, you have your own personal team to go to for this help and these messages. So just ask. All right. So we will see you next week. Until then, love one another. Namaste. Have a good evening. Bye.